Alpe d'Huez. That's the most famous stage on the Tour de France. Today, these triathletes are going to climb it. They start at Lake Terezas, where they do a 2.5 kilometer swim. Then they've got a bike, something like 80 kilometers, and the last 16 or so are up Alpe d'Huez. Lake Teresa, well, that's east of Grenoble in the Forêt-Sévaudan Valley, which is between Grenoble and Chambéry. And that's under the Chartreuse Massif in the north and the Belledome Massif in the south. We've got 72 triathletes who qualified for today's race after yesterday. And there are 400 amateurs, and they're going to go about 15 minutes later. We've got the defending champion. I say defending champion. It was only a one-day race last year, but this particular race was won by Ben Bright last year. And the first prize was a car last year. I think it was a Fiat. And again, the first person to finish gets a Fiat car today. We've got Mike Pigg in the field. He's got a slender lead. He's got about 4 seconds over Rob Burrell. They all had the average time of their team yesterday, the best three. These are the best three swimmers in the race. We've got Nick Croft on the far top of the picture, not wearing glasses. In the middle, Ben Bright, both Australian, and in the lower part of the picture, Von van der Poel from Holland. Oh, isn't that a gorgeous scene? Hopefully they won't see that, because they know they've got to climb up it later on today. So it's the 2.5 kilometer swim, just to remind you. Then it's the 80 kilometer bike, and finally they have to run 20 kilometers at altitude. These are the age groupers going, some 400 of them. 15 minutes later, and it's unlikely they'll catch any of the professionals, but well, we'll have to wait and see on that path. This Alpine Lake really does look gorgeous. Though it's only 9 degrees, so it's fairly chilly. Certainly wetsuits are compulsory today, especially with a 2.5 kilometer swim. They're going to be well in there for between 25 and 30 minutes, most of them. More for some. There's probably some of them 40, maybe 50 minutes. But this is the pros. They're just coming out. We've got Nick Croft on the front, and right behind, I think we've got Ben Bright. Yeah, so this is Nick Croft, first out of the water, the Australian, and then Benny Bright. He won in Ironbridge last year in Great Britain. We'll be seeing him again this weekend in Ironbridge, isn't it, of course? So Ben Bright has a quick change. You just hear Brett Sutton shouting at him, saying that his bike's going strong, so you can do it today. So Nick Croft's first out, Benny Bright's second out. And about 1.5 minutes later, we've got 16 men. We've got Mark Lees wearing number 26, Bob Burrell's there, Mike Pigg's there, Stephen Foster, the Australian, Paul Blondeel, the Belgian, Morifumi Kojima is there, the Japanese, many French people, Canadian Scott Ledrew, Jos Everts, Jean-Luc Capogna's there as well, 44, that's Jos Everts, Ben Anderson, Todd McAllister, the American, wearing number 21. So they're chasing down Benny Bright and Nick Croft. They're about 1.5 minutes down the road at this time. There's 80 kilometers to go. This is Mark Lees, another Australian going out. He'll be racing in Ironbridge as well next weekend. We look forward to seeing the Australians there in force. Benny Bright will be joining him. So it looks as though Benny Bright's getting away from Nick Croft. They're doing about 50 kilometers at the moment, 50 kilometers per hour. Jean-Luc Capogna back in third, fourth. Mike Pigg telling our cameraman to get out of the way. He doesn't want to be caught for drafting. They were allowed to draft yesterday, but not today. Well, I don't know. See a little drafting here. Perhaps it's see 2 or 3 of the same team. Capogna here wearing number 1. I don't know why they gave him number 1, because he didn't win last year. Benny Bright really should have had it, but he's got number 25. Oh well. This is France, I suppose. Benny Brents at Uriège. For those skiers, you remember you turn off here for Chamrousse, nice French ski resort. This is Jean-Luc Caponia there, heading up towards the mountains. It's about, what, a 60-kilometer ride into the mountains, and then they've got those 21 turns up Alpe d'Huez. But the pros go up in about 45 minutes, don't they, if I remember? So these will be looking for around that time. Well, bearing in mind they've swum and they've got a run at the end of it. Rob Burrell here, number 1, very unlucky, number 13. A bit of a pack here in front of him. Canada, that's Scott LeDrew there. This is Scott LeDrew, number 4. So as we go through the field towards our leaders, this is Daniel Palmucci, Stephen Foster, jumping all over the place. Didier Volkart there, 26. That looks like Mark Lees. Taking some fluids on board. He knows he's got a long, hot day in front of him. But, I suppose this will be around about a 4.5 hour race maybe. So it's, oh, isn't that fun? It's just handed Bobby Barrow a drink. Rob Burrell takes another drink. Pig's had enough, thank you very much, he says. And they chase down Jean-Luc Caponia and Ben Bright. These four are getting away from the rest of the field. So Bobby Barrow and Benny Bright start the climb. We can just see this is Mike Pigg, the lower parts of the climb, the first few turns. But this is turn number 4, if I remember, of the Alpe d'Huez. So they've got he's got another 17 or so to go. I don't know if he's thinking about that then. Oh, there we are, 18 to go. Got one wrong. Is it 22 turns? There are some women in the field. We started off with 110 overall. We didn't start with pros, but Bob Barrow, look at that beautiful sight behind him. Bob Barrow starting to blow a bit. Well, we'll leave Pig climbing this Alpe d'Huez, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Alpe d'Huez, the second stage of this Grenoble to Alpe d'Huez triathlon. They've swum 2.5 kilometers, they're biking 80 kilometers, and they're in the closing 10 kilometers or so. And we're back with our leader, Mike Pigg. Benny Bright's behind, the Australian. We've got Rob Burrell is up there, and I think they've blown out Jean-Luc Caponia in the first few turns. So Pigg's pulling away. I understand at one time he had a 3-minute lead, but Rob Burrell is clawing it back as they get towards the summit of the Alpe d'Huez climb. And we are Mike's Pig Power. Pig Power, you can just see it on the back. And this is the Alpe d'Huez. These are some of the age groupers and women in the field. We've got Bianca van Bozen, the Australian, who's... this is Bianca. She's the leading woman at the moment. We've also got Antoinette van der Steen, number 80, and 84. This is Lilian Verre. Only 6 women left in this field. We understand something like 110 racers have given up on the Alpe d'Huez. So those are nearly all age groupers, of course. There were 400 age groupers. Here's one just going through. 70-odd pros. Most of the pros are making it up there, but a lot of the age groupers are finding this tough. Mike Pigg, though, he's up to the summit of Alpe d'Huez. He's climbed it in 48 minutes, would you believe? Well, you consider these pros go up in between, what, 43 and 45 minutes. Pigg has gone up in a triathlon, and he's now going to run 20 kilometers. That is amazing biking by Mike Pigg, the American. Comes from Alcada, California. He's won the first 4 races. This is his fifth race this year. He started off down in St. Croix. He won that. He moved to Australia. He won that. Then he moved to New Caledonia. He won that. Then he went to the ITU's World Cup in Orange County. And in California, and he won that as well. This is his 5th race, so he's trying to make it 5 and none. That's out of baseball terminology. 5 races and 5 wins. So as Pig heads off for this 20 kilometers rather, at 10,000 feet, and they've got quite a climb here. 2 laps. There's Benny Bright just coming in, and as they get towards the end of the first lap, in fact, Rob Burrell has made up that minute or so deficit he had at the top of the bike, and has gone past Pig to take the lead. This is Jos Everts, of course, won Ironman Europe last year. Stephen Foster, the Australian, coming through. What's he in about 4th or 5th place? But Bobby Burrell is still in 1st place. And Pig won't give up though. Certainly Ben Bright's not going to be successful at defending his championship that he won here last year. He's not going to win another Fiat car, just sort of ski result. So that's lap 1 over, and it's still Bob Burrell with Pig just behind. He's about 20 seconds behind with 1 lap to go. That's 10k's out of the way, 10k to go. Doesn't look like they're running at 10,000 feet, does it? Jos Everts moving up through the field. He's moved into, what, 3rd or 4th place at the moment. But at the turn, Pig's gone to the head again. Burrell's blown it. He's hit what we call in this sport the bonk. He's bonked. Hit the wall, as they call in running, but he's let Pig get away. You can see he's struggling a bit. His pace is shortened, and I'm not surprised. This is Gilles Villoux, but Pig's going to win it. Pig's going to win the Alpe d'Huez, the 2nd race at this Alpe d'Huez, and he's going to win in 4 hours 18 seconds. Oh, he looks exhausted, doesn't he? Who can blame him? But he's won a Fiat car, and he's picked up I should think quite a substantial amount of that 70,000 francs on offer for the team. This is Bobby Burrell, finishes in 2nd place, racing for Saint Quentin. Just 2 minutes adrift, well, 1:59, 4:17.17. And Jos Everts places 3rd. Oh, what did Pig think of this, I wonder?
This race took everything out of me. Rob Burrell chased me up the mountain. He was only 30 seconds back, 20 seconds back. Then he took off running. And the way he was running, I go, it's your race. But I hung in there.
Were you afraid to lose?
But he was looking very strong, so I was questioning it. But I didn't want to give up the race, so I kept on running hard.
And Bobby Burrell tells us a bit about an 8-stage race next year in 10 days, which finishes with this race, would you believe?
It will be harder, of course, and the races will be slower and more technical. But I think it's no harder than the Tour de France, because every 2 days we're supposed to have 1 rest day, and the stages are not really long. It only finishes with a long stage like this one. So I think it is very well possible to do it. It's not something crazy. It's just the races will be slower.
Well, we'll have to wait for that next year on Eurosport, hopefully. 25 Ben Bright, won last year, finished 16th this year. Well, that's the Alpe d'Huez for you. We didn't see it on the Tour de France, but we saw it in the Alpe d'Huez Triathlon. Our winner was Mike Pig from Ocala, California in 4:15.18. Bobby Burrell from Holland was 2nd, and Jos Everts, another Dutchman, was 3rd. Bianca van Bozik, she won the women's division. We don't actually see her finish, but you can see many of these finishers are struggling. Well, that's it for Eurosport's coverage of the Alpe d'Huez Triathlon. This is Ian Sweet wishing you good night.